Hello and welcome to the Slow the Fuck Down podcast with Glow London and The Drum. I'm Emma Harris, Chief of Glow London and founder of the Slow the Fuck Down movement. In May 22, I had a completely out of the blue cardiac arrest and the odds of 96-4 surviving unscathed. Since then, I've been committed to sharing the perspective I'm now blessed with, that many of us are wasting the precious time we have on this planet with unsustainable pace and stress. In each episode, I'll welcome some fabulous guests onto the show to share their stories of how slowing down or not has affected their lives, their teams, and their businesses. Let's get started. Welcome to today's Slow the Fuck Down podcast. It's going to be quite a show. We have two incredibly smart guests in Mark Earls and Antoinette Raymond. Antoinette, part scientist, part 15-year-old geek. Antoinette is co-founder and MD of Saker Lind & Co., an organizational psychologist, author of the brilliant Tits Up and What's Your Point? She helps people and teams get unstuck, speak up, and find confidence with grit, humor, and real world insight. We are going to have some fun today. Mark Earls, the incredible human behavior and marketing guru, founder of Herdmeister, author of several books, including Herd, Copy, and his new amazing study, which no doubt we're going to hear about today, on time travel. Mark helps organizations see what people actually do and not what they say they do. Welcome, Antoinette and Mark.
Thank you.
So we shall start with the question we always ask everyone. The world is kind of bonkers right now. How the hell did we get here? Mark, I'll start with you.
Okay, two answers to this. One really small,
Yeah.
and one bigger.
Okay.
So the small one is that we're a social species and
Yeah.
we do what other people do. So it's our fault, basically.
Right.
And you could frame it otherwise as bigger boys made me do it. We're forced to do it, but actually we choose to do the things that we do and to live and work the way that we choose to work. It's our responsibility. The other thing, which is a much bigger thing, is one of the reasons why I think we've got so much problem with the way of the world of work at the moment, and things like Slow the Fuck Down are so important, is that we're still running on ideas we've inherited from the industrial age, from the age of factories, about what it is to be human, about what matters to be human, what work is about, how you measure it. I mean, and the obsession with the clock, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, that we have allowed the clock into every little bit of our lives, into our fertility management, into our sex lives, in not just our fitness, but everywhere in our lives. And so the idea of being unproductive as a human being is just an awful thought. Culturally, it sits really heavily with us. And I think that big cultural thing that we've never called out is one of the big reasons why we are as we are, and we copy each other, acting it out now.
So what you're saying is the kind of relationship between almost self-worth and productivity, that's the bit that's causing
Totally. My late wife used to quiz me on a Saturday. Why do you have to achieve things on that list of to-do on a Saturday? Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to achieve? And because I just have to. If I don't, I feel really awful about myself.
Yeah.
And that's an example of this productivity obsession.
God.
What do you do in time as opposed to who you are and how you experience it? And for me, it's a really big deal that we need to experience our lives, experience the world of work rather than just create stuff.
Oh, so true. So true. Antoinette, my love.
What do I do with that? Sorry. No, but what I love is what you just said is it's our perfectionism problem on that. And I'm going to build on that part because I am what I create. I am what I do. I am my achievements. And that kills us. It doesn't help us slow the fuck down. It does the exact opposite. I'm going to build off of it because what I do to help people, because what you just said is accurate in terms of everything you just said about why we're where we're at, going to the question. I like to look at things as simple as possible because I can't draw. All right, I have to make it simple. I like 3 concentric circles. To build off of that, it's individual. Let me do a business one. It's individual, team, organization. In our personal life, in our world, it's individual, tribe, society. And it's what we do. And you just said it was our fault in the first answer. It is. What do we do at an individual level to ourselves? I write those to-do lists. I want to tick them off. Like that's my style. What do we do at the team level, the tribe level? the pressure we have for each other, my culture wanting me, I'm first generation. I had to go to get all the degrees. That was what I did. And the socioeconomic, the bigger culture thing, how does that impact? And it's those three spheres that got us here. But the accountability for what you do in those three spheres is the part I love. And that's the part that's the stuff I get excited about, right? And that's what I help people, I hope, or all of us help people with. But that's how I think we got here. I'm building off of what you said, but I'm just using that model.
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
To put it into perspective.
It's so true. I was with a client yesterday and we were talking about they got all very excited. Let's not get perfect, get in the way of done. And then literally 10 minutes later, the boss was saying, but we do have to embed perfectionism into the culture because
standards matter, right?
Yeah, we can't be tolerant of poor performance. And I'm like, whoa, just agreed. And poor performance and perfection is a long walk between those two things, but it's so true. It's like this obsession, and it's for me, it's the connection with what it does to us internally. What does on that individual level, what it does to us. If I am going to spend Saturday in bed without doing my to-do list, how do I feel at the end of the day?
Awful at the moment, and that's the point, right?
Yeah. And how do we break that?
But very often this culture that we've not just learned, but we've embodied. So the feeling is really physical. The feeling of anger and dislike of yourself.
Yeah,
it's you feel it really strongly. And I don't think I'm overstating the case when you're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
When who's supposed? Them out there and you in here as well.
And that is classic slow the fuck down. Why am I doing this? Why am I feeling this? Let's break that cycle of belief, feeling, behavior. Because if I believe I'm not good enough because I haven't done the things, then I'm allowing the feelings. But if we interrupt that and go, who's saying I should? That frees you.
Well, the neuroscience of it, right? Break that neural pathway.
Yeah.
Because it's strong. That muscle's strong.
Yeah.
And we get excited when we break it and try it once, and it takes nothing, like him saying. But we have to do, we have to do it perfection.
Yeah.
We have to aim for perfection. Then we all go, okay, you're right.
It was her.
Excuse me, for her to say. No, but seriously, look how strong.
Yeah.
Oh, I could go into that a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Bless her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why it has to be perfection.
Yeah,
why that muscle's strong. We could have some
I think
fun
there's
on
another
that.
thing that's really interesting here. So I agree completely that it's the neuroscience is really clear about it. But I think also the relationships that we encourage each other to do this stuff.
Yeah.
And you and I have known each other for a long time professionally and as friends, right? We know when the other one is doing something to themselves, to making themselves, it's not helpful to them.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
And you call me on it and I've called you on it as well, right?
You did it this morning when you two agreed it. And you both just immediately went to, should we be doing that? And I love that.
Yeah.
But it's the tribe. It's what we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And we can't unlock the change, in my view, unless you unlock the tribe bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And how are you guys doing in all this? How are you, Antoinette? And that's the madness.
I love that question. We knew it was coming, right? But yet I still think, how am I doing? In the madness.
Talk about myself.
And really then figure the answer out so that it's a real one.
Yes.
All I've done is not slow the fuck down in my life, which is where I've gotten to where I've gotten. And not that that's the solution, and breaking that, I'm at a place where you're catching me at a funny time where I'm good at doing. I want to make sense of the meaning out of what I've done. So I want to slow the doing a little bit because that's good. But I'm at a place in my life, at an age in my life where I'm having fun making sense and meaning of what I've done and what I figured out and what I've learned. So the book was part of that.
Yeah.
Just kind of what are some of the things I constantly say to people all the time to help them with their confidence or help them ground themselves. So how I'm handling it is I'm kind of soaking it all up. What is the crazy? And then what does all this mean? And trying to come up with some helpful solutions after I read his book, though. After I read the third book.
But you're okay.
I'm good.
Oh, good.
I'm okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's a good year. It's a good 2026 is okay.
Good. Marky?
I'm good, actually. I'm good. Yeah, it's been eventful few years on the personal and professional front. And I have, like you, find myself at a particular time in my life when things are changing. So I'm sort of in transit, which is really nice, because I think that a lot of the difficulties we have, both emotionally, personally, in relationships, and at work are to do with us being stuck in habitual stuff. It's one of the great gifts that the human species has got, is the ability to be habitual and to not think about things and just do it without thinking, and just do it and do it and do it and do it and do it. But I think it also is not terribly helpful for someone like me. Maybe other people are different, but I know that I need to have enough habit but not get stuck in it.
Such a fine line.
So it's funny because one of the things I talk about a lot with just everybody, not even just work, but my nieces and nephews, with my kids, it's the psychology of disruption and discipline. Constantly where we're playing. Too much disruption is chaos, though. Too much discipline is stagnation. And I love that we're in that kind of, I'm ready to disrupt some shit. Let's go. Let's play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. I think that's that you have to draw that balance, right?
Yep.
And then you feel at different times different sort of tendencies that you really want to. Sometimes you choose the wrong way, the wrong side of the line. But so here's the thing as well, is that I've also discovered about myself that I'm quite. This won't be a surprise to you, Emma, but I'm neurospicy. So, you know.
Spicy.
No.
Wait,
no.
I can't write. I'm writing
me.
it down.
What with your brain, the way it works?
Yes.
I'm writing that down. Neurospicy.
Yeah.
Have you not heard that one?
No.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Oh,
And what does that mean for you, that realization?
Yeah.
It's actually helped me an awful lot and switched off a lot of the noise, which is self-critical. Because I used to be, I'm always late. I was joking before we started about Emma will be so surprised that I'm on time, even in the same time zone, because that's one of my things. I also get bored quite quickly. My mind is quite scattered.
Yeah.
And yet I achieve lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And if I don't achieve it, or I don't feel I'm achieving it, or I'm late on, or whatever those things, or I'm distracted in a meeting, then I'm going to give myself a hard time. But I've not anymore, because you go, look, I'm a bit like that. That's okay. And I know that, for example, the reason why I didn't ever want to be a non-exec director of anything was because I hate meetings. I think meetings are tedious and I get bored. And when I get bored, I get badly behaved, as you know.
Yeah. Unless you're running aforementioned meeting, in which case that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because or I'm with a friend.
Make sure it's fun.
I love that.
Has there been a time in your life where you haven't slowed down? You said that slowing, you have never slowed down and that's where you are. But has there ever been a moment when you're like, oh, I've pushed this too far?
It's yes, many moments, but one that makes me laugh now, not then. I'm literally walking to dinner. It was just a lot going on. And my brain was just, I could tell it was just going on. But we're walking to dinner and I'm literally up on the high street waiting for the light to change to walk. And the next thing I know, I'm on the ground. I just fainted. And it was and I'm not a fainter. So it was the first time my body ever said, well, it's not the first time, but it was one of the most dramatic times it said, seriously, we're not playing anymore. We're done. We're stopping you right now. Yeah. Here's the best part. My husband and one of my dearest friends were right behind me. They failed the trust fall, by the way. I fell, hit my head. I went down. But because they were so shocked, they would never thought I was fainting. They just thought somebody pushed me back. Well, they still didn't catch me. But did I stop? No. That's the part that's the most painfully striking on that. I said, okay, let's just keep going to dinner. But the learning, and I was at the therapist at the time, and she just kind of looked at me like,
you went for dinner?
Well, so I kept going. No, we went, and then, I'm not stopping. I'm telling you. So it stopped. I stopped, didn't stop. And my therapist, I'll never forget, she's like, okay. And then just let me realize that I wasn't going to let it affect me. Yeah. And now it's become a point of contact. Well, or you can faint. Like now it's a joke to us. Or you could faint, or else you could just faint. So I let it get that badly. Did it change? It's probably just in that was about 3 years ago. It's probably in the last year it's changed, which is why it's time for me. That's why I'm in a transition like you are.
Right. We'll kind of come back to what you're changing.
Okay.
Well, what do you think? I think been lots of times
which
when
one
which one should we talk about?
Yeah.
So I was early in my career, or sort of my advertising bit of my career. I spent a couple of decades in advertising, scrabbled up the greasy pole and got to the top of the Ogilvy world, and it was awful. I hated it. I hated myself, and my relationship was all damaged by this. And it was apparently very glamorous, but I hated it. I really did. And but I didn't stop, and it took the death of two people very close to me in a week to make me to stop. And then my body went, stop completely. So I basically did nothing for a few months. Nothing.
Really?
Did nothing. Absolutely nothing. I managed to get, do the elegy at my uncle's funeral and go to the other one, but that was it. I couldn't do anything else. I just did nothing.
Wow.
And got some help and support, which was really good and helped me get through that. But that really was too late.
Yeah.
I should have stopped earlier.
Yeah.
I found myself, fast forward a few years, and I got diagnosed out of the blue with cancer, colon cancer. And I was going through treatment, and I was so determined that it was not happening to me that I didn't stop. I wrote a book, wrote a book through chemo, which is just the silliest thing to do. And I woke up from surgery full of drugs, and I did an interview with someone.
You did not.
Someone at Marketing Week, I know, full of drugs. They're talking absolute nonsense. And fortunately, we managed to pull that. But those are examples. Even then, I didn't stop. And so one of the lessons I've learned from the years that have followed is that I do really have to listen.
Yeah.
Do really have to listen, and it's the body keeps the score.
The body keeps the score.
Body keeps the score, and you do need to listen to how you go into it. We're working with a group of people, and you go, "This is going to be 6 months. I feel uncomfortable in this, so maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't be working with these people. Maybe I shouldn't be doing that." And go. That's or you get to a point you go, this is making my body feel really, I'm going to close the book quietly, apologize, and leave the room. Because that's it. I'm done. That's great. So it's something I've had to learn over recent years. And people say, "What's your life work?" But mine is probably beginning to learn how to say no to things.
Yeah. Well, it's a really important thing to do.
Totally.
I say to people all the time, we've got 3 brains. You'll probably know more about this than me. I say, hey, head brain will tell you the functional. Your heart brain will tell you the emotional. Listen to your stomach brain. Because your intuition, when that spidey senses is saying, this doesn't feel right, listen.
What's weird about this, in the world of work, we value the bit up here
and
above
we
anything
reward
else.
that. We reward that.
And
the
reward
spidey
it,
sense doesn't get rewarded till very later.
No, absolutely.
At senior, then I trust your spidey sense. You should have trusted in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I love that.
You must have had this experience being driven to get academic qualifications, and I was the same. And you do that, and then I found myself in a bit of the advertising marketing world where the academic stuff it was like a weekly seminar.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
Clever guy.
Be a clever guy.
Be a clever guy, and forget the rest. The other 2 brains.
The other 2 brains, please.
Well, at the risk of being very gender specific, I think men have 4 brains. But anyway, Antoinette, you are the elder.
This could go good. Let's go there.
Some women. Antoinette,
some women, yes.
You mentioned before about being first generation. You are the eldest daughter of Filipino Spanish family. Yes. So lots of heritage, and tell us about that experience, how the confidence that you came from, what that how that affected your quest through life, because you always talk about confidence isn't a switch. That it's lots of things that people can do. Tell us that journey and where you got to now. Very obviously incredible, confident woman.
Well, but that's the thing. Confidence isn't who you are; it's what you practice. And because there are days who you are in one day, in 15 minutes, you can go for, I got this, and then you spill the coffee in your trousers, and you're like, oh no, I don't, and then the confidence goes away. I was just in the cab with the most wonderful driver on the way here. And we were talking about the impact of our different cultures on ourselves. And what you really realize is while you're in it, it's the most embarrassing. You hate it. I don't want to deal with it. It's like, I want to be the other thing.
Yeah.
I want to be everything that this
normal.
isn't. I want to be normal. I grew up in Southern California. I wanted to be blonde,
yeah.
Wow. Just not that.
No.
And I came from a culture where my parents did everything they could to bring us to America. So I was first generation, but my dad said a phrase that was classic. I want you to be American, but not act like one. And I'm like, okay, try getting your head around that one.
Yeah.
But what I learned it meant, and the thing I think that we said in the car earlier was, I now love what my history brought me. But I did at the time, you're right. You're in the middle of it. So he said, be American, but don't act like one. Okay. What that meant was, get all the education, get all the opportunities. We fought to get you here. Enjoy it, be a good citizen, be a good human, but most of all, be respectful to your family. Be very, it was tribal before I knew the word tribal. So I nailed it. I was good at school. I was a good girl. I did all the right things. I helped clean. I was a latchkey kid, so I made sure my siblings were all okay. We had dinner on the table. It was all good. Then dad and brother got killed in a car accident when I was 17. And that shifted it into overdrive. So this slow the fuck down did not happen. I had to become the person I needed to become for our family, which was my absolute pleasure to do. And it took a toll. So just never stopped, because I then had dad in perpetua in my ear saying, do all you can. And I did. And I just never stopped and just kept going. And yet I'm not angry at him. He taught me how to, defy odds, go for it. Yeah. It's just in the learning later that you get better at going, my spidey sense says this is not good. Yeah. Or my heart says, I'm not doing what I love. Yeah. All that stuff. I didn't learn to listen until way later. And I'm a psychologist. Yeah. Business psychologist, let's be clear. I'm not a therapist. I'm not good at that. But yeah, it drove a lot of my experiences. And it impacted me because I kept practicing and trying to be successful and was in good situations where I was successful, then that became a buzz and I liked it. So that dopamine hit of being successful is hard. And then it keeps going and then you do it again. But guess what? It takes the belief that I have to work my ass off all the time to keep getting that dopamine hit, to keep getting that work. See, this is why he said that. And so unpacking that and realizing 80-20 is good. Getting shit done is good. And it's good enough. And there are times maybe for your family, it's worth to do the 100% because it's worth it for their 80th birthday or whatever. But 80-20, if that even, let's get it done. Still a work in progress though. Still doing that.
And is it dopamine that, I mean, I'm sure it's dopamine, but listening to your story, is it your coping mechanism as well? Because my mum got ill when I was 12. So she didn't die, but she went from alpha female, basically me, to she had a thing called encephalitis, which settled on her short-term memory, which meant she became almost like someone overnight, horrendous dementia. So like a goldfish. So all the follow through. So basically I kind of lost my mum when I was 12. And I did the same, took over. I was the baby, but I took over. And I've learned that need to be busy, need to control, which is why I'm a control freak, get everything done. Then everything is fine. So I hear you on the dopamine.
No, but that's a big one. So it's also the lived experiences. But we take, because the family's okay.
Yeah, everyone's okay.
So that's the other side.
If I do everything, everyone's okay. Everyone's going to be okay. And I don't have to even connect with how I feel.
Especially not connect that. So we're laughing about that. So the dopamine just happens to be, I think, some of the chemical that goes with that. That's the more important thing. Everything's okay. So here's the funny thing. In my 50s, learned, relax. You don't have to have control over everything. Now I'm 62. And when my family throws it to me, well, what are we going to do? I'm
you're 62. 62. We need to talk about face cream.
Wow. No, it's 60. But now it's funny because now I take control. It's like, okay, you bitches, I got it. We're doing this. And they're like, well, we didn't agree. And I win. Like you gave me that for so many years. I'm taking it. So now it's fun. Now it's a toy. The control is a tool that I get to use when I need to, when I do, but know when to put it down.
Yeah. Whew, wow, we're sticking with tragedy. Let's stick with this theme. Mark, you have experienced a lot of it, and it's hard to even know where to start. But you've mentioned your late wife. You've mentioned your own cancer. Tell us about that and how this, your own experience, your own life experience has shaped your outlook on where it's today. Because that whole "don't sweat the small stuff" must be a very loud voice in your ear.
Yes, it is. So what happened was my wife died during lockdown. I'd been diagnosed a decade before and had treatment. And as soon as I got better, she got ill. She got sick and was picked up on one of those random workplace mammograms. And so we had 5 years of that. We had a brilliant time. But what it did two things to me. One of which is it finally made me face up to the fact that we're all going to die in the end, which is a really big deal. And we create so many things, cultural stuff, practices in our own lives, to avoid facing that reality. And there was a moment I had about a year or so before Sarah died, when I realised that what I had to do was give her the best death she could have. And that, no, it's fine. It's fine. And once you realise that there's something that's so much bigger than any of the nonsense that we worry about, that's really important. Really, really important. And that has changed how I feel about things. How I feel about work, how I feel about, how I shape my life. Because it's not the tragedy as in, a Greek thing. It's part of life. Because I think if we wrap it in theatre and drama and metaphor, we hide from it. It's the truth. When we know that, it'll happen to me, but I look after myself a bit better than I've ever done before. It'll happen to me, and it'll happen to all of you. But when you realise that, you go, actually, so what are you going to do with the bit that's left? What are you going to do? And that changes your the priorities, not just in your professional life. I'm only interested in the stuff I'm interested in. If I'm not interested in it, I'm not going to waste the rest of my life doing this. I'm not going to read a book that's really dull. I'm just going to throw it across the room. I read all the time, but if it's rubbish, it's going.
We die.
And I, I'm really lucky. I have so many things in my life now that are just fantastic that I'm really grateful for. And when I look at my work, I'm doing more of the things that I really want to do, and I like more of them, of course.
Yeah,
but I'm not
more.
More,
exactly
more,
please. More of that.
And I'd like more of that stuff. I'm writing another book, and I'm exploring this whole idea of time, and I'm talking and consulting, and I'm loving it. But it was a big turning point, knowing that the person who's most important in your life is dying. And the morning that she died, I remember it really clearly. And sat on the steps with her two best friends outside the house on the stoop. And it was about 5:30, and the funeral directors had come and taken the body away, and that was it. It was done. And you go, oh. And it was the middle of lockdown, so it was, we weren't supposed to be doing any parties or anything. But when you realise that is probably more important than anything you've ever done in work, you go, now, work has to be good. Anything you're going to do in your private life has to then sort of not match up to that, but you have to put it in the context of that and go, this is a good thing that we've achieved here.
Yeah. It's discerning, isn't it? It's just going, I choose, actually. I have to choose, because otherwise it's a waste.
Otherwise, it's a waste.
Yeah,
it's a waste.
Have
and
to choose.
Those stories of, and we in every culture we have them, and it's in high culture in the West, and in low culture as well. The idea of someone who's heartbroken, who cannot move, and spends the rest of their life sort of keening. That's a waste.
She would have been fucking furious with you.
She would have said it just like that, actually.
Yeah, she would have been like, "Don't you fucking dare!
Don't you fucking dare, Mark!"
Yeah.
And that's. But I think so it is a really big experience you have in life, but it's also not the Greek drama, because it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and it'll happen to all of us. And I was very lucky to have that, and then to be able to choose after that.
Thank you for sharing that.
Did you give her what you wanted to give her?
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Amazing.
I love it. I love she does it. I love,
Yeah, Emma's husband's Danny read some poems, have read her favourite bit of Shakespeare, and we had it was only 20 people in the crematorium, but the great thing because of COVID.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then people, people found trees to remember her by, because she loved trees, and it was great. And she
celebrated her.
Celebrated her,
Love
and that's
True
important. And also the other thing that I think that this may not make sense to the younger listeners, viewers on this pod, but there comes a point in your life when you realise that these big things don't happen to other people; they happen to you. And you have to be here. And I confessed I'm a sort of bibliophile. I read all the time. 100 years ago, French philosopher Henri Bergson talked about, he was arguing with the Anglos and the Americans about time. And he's basically saying the experience is the thing.
Yes.
And all of us need to remember that the experience is the important stuff.
Absolutely.
The experience of our lives, our working lives, the experience of our friendships and our entertainment. The experience is the thing, and to focus more on that than achievement.
The experience is the thing.
Yeah, I
Right
talk
there.
about that all the time. I mean, I'm always banging on
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
the power of now. And
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
Eckhart
Yeah,
Tolle, and how he talks about people waiting to start their life, and it's
Yeah.
Waiting
it's just
to-
so
That's awful,
when
isn't it,
you've
right?
been through what we've been through, you go,
Yeah.
don't wait.
What are you
Just
waiting
when
for?
I'm thin, when I get that job, when I
Yeah,
get it's
people
just
say,
like, then I'll be happy.
people
So true.
would I still hear people say, "When I retire, I will."
Oh,
you go,
yeah.
what
Lord.
a terrible way to live your life.
Honestly,
I hate myself. I'm doing turnip futures or whatever in Wall Street, and
But when I
hate-
retire,
when I
Yeah.
retire, it's
when
gonna
I
be great.
retire, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you make it, dude.
That,
Well, quite.
Well,
yes.
exactly. Which
Yeah.
Quite.
experience is a thing. I'm writing that down again.
Experience is a thing.
Thank you.
So Antoinette, let's just talk a little bit about your book, which calls out so much bullshit on career and people's beliefs about
Does.
confidence. Tell us your perfect myth. What's the golden nugget that you want people to know about confidence?
So, a couple myths that are, because you can't help it, that you're born with confidence.
Yes.
No. Research has shown 80% of it is lived experiences. That's what gives you the confidence, not a personality trait. And it's how you've handled those lived experiences, the successes you've had in handling it that way. And that's what brings you that tits up moment, the ability to have a point. So that's a fallacy. The other fallacy is that confident people never doubt. They never doubt themselves. No. So I wrote the names down because I want to get them right. 2 psychologists, Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes. There you go. Did some of the first research on imposter syndrome. Now, we're going to laugh because I think the number's even more than this, but they said that they found that over 70% of people feel some type of imposter syndrome.
Yeah, it's normal.
It's normal.
Yeah.
So, in fact, the irony is the successful people know that and have tools, have practice, know what to do those little secrets of what it takes to just lift them, stop the bad stuff and start the good stuff again.
Yeah.
So that's the myth. And I think the last one I like is that confidence is being loud, defiant, and certain. No. It's so not that.
That's brilliant.
Right?
Yeah,
It's
totally.
it's when you're competent, clear. And calm. Now, I'm hyper. I'm pretty energetic, but I can be calm when I'm making my point. And it's in that people trust and people get excited. You motivate people. So those 3 fallacies, I think, are the ones that I love busting constantly.
Absolutely brilliant.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
And staying with human behavior, because it is our topic, and there's so much. I mean, we're all exhausted by data and tech. It's driving so many of the wrong behaviors. Yeah. Mark, can you tell us, how do you get your clients, how do you bust through that and get your clients to realize the difference between the data and the reality of human behavior?
So I think one of the things to do is to spin the mirror onto them and get them to look the lens back onto them to say, listen, what is this idea you have about the data that's going to do? And where does that come from? Where's that kind of idea is that? And so, for example, very often they come back, it's a magic wand. That if we have enough data, everything will be fine and all our problems will disappear. And you go, do you really think that's ever happened ever in the history of the world? No, the magic wand idea. So that's the first thing, to recognize that there isn't a magic wand. The second thing is I work very hard on them to just focus on, instead of saying that we have technology which will do this, to focus on the people that are involved. And to triage behavior, just like a doctor would. And so what kind of behavior is this? I was lucky enough to work very closely with 2 anthropologists and archaeologists, and we created this sort of it's a 4-box, because everyone likes a 4-box, but it's based on real patterns that you see in behavioral data sets. And it essentially asks us, it's asked us to say, is this an independent choice or one that's shaped by other people? Is that the behavior? That's what's shaping the behavior here. Is it something that is conscious and considered, information-led, or is it something that's we just do it? So uninformed choice. And those two sets of data, 2 pairs of axes, allow us to see actually most of what when you say there's a problem in our business, whether it's a contact lens business or it's a pharmaceuticals business or it's a financial services business or it's just in a school PTA kind of area, is it a habit? Yeah, this looks like a habit. And we know how you change habits. Is this something that's just the latest fad that people are getting overexcited about? Or is this something that's actually shaped by some bigger cultural stuff? Very rarely is it something that people make an independent choice about. So triage that way really helps us. And then I get people say, so that's the second step, to get them to say, okay, so where have you seen this before?
Good question.
And we're doing, if you like, some heavy lifting. We're doing it really quickly. Where have you seen this before? And when you find an analog, you go, okay, so they solved it by doing that. Why don't we take something of that and bring that into this situation? And because we're not scaling up this big project plan that looks like a very complicated wiring diagram, it's really simple stuff. The behavior of normal human beings. What kind of thing is it? Where have we seen that before? How do other people solve it? And you go, right. So that sounds like a lot of work, but it isn't. It's really normal human questions that anyone can engage with. And I get people to do it together, and I do it in fast, really, really fast together, which means that they then have time to reflect back and go, the human being here has created a solution, a diagnosis of this that they wouldn't have done otherwise because they've been lost in their intellectual nonsense up here. They will have made it very tangible. They found solutions, analogs elsewhere, and we've suddenly got a solution. We've got a solution to this that we can try.
Triage.
It's really
But I
important.
like that because what you did was you made it more. Because what also gets involved with the intellect is the ego. I want to come up with something bigger, and this is even better, right? But now you just gave me the comfort, like, oh, I got this.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, that safety net, that's that 4 box.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I have an answer to that.
Yeah.
Oh, we have done that in the past.
Where
so never
have we seen
don't
that
use
before?
that data. That's the good data to use.
Exactly.
Like, stop going into bigger data. Use the data we have, but then use the bigger data. How can this make it even more fun? I love that.
Exactly. And that's, I mean, so I do honestly believe, and when I used to work in advertising, it didn't make me very popular, but everybody, being a human being, can solve problems. Has creativity that can solve problems.
Everybody.
And our job as people who work with organizations, I think, is to enable that to happen.
100%.
Rather than,
Agreed.
I spent years coming up with the answer. And frankly, the answer's success and adoption by the organization will only depend, its success will be absolutely determined by whether or not someone in the organization thinks it's their idea.
Exactly.
So we have to get people to do this, and they can do it. And people feel much bigger and much stronger. We've worked on a client together when you've seen the change, when you have both the incredible work that you do with people and helping them communicate better and being in touch with themselves and making good decisions about their life and their work. And I'm doing this crazy innovation stuff around behavior. And the change in people, it transforms them, right?
Absolutely.
What's when we get out of our way?
Get out of our way.
And let
absolutely.
them. That's the fun. Then
Totally,
it's like turning, it just puts all the gas in it, right?
Absolutely.
Now it's fun because before we're thinking, I've got to have the answer. I'm going to dazzle them. This is going to be the way.
But it's about me then. And
Exactly.
I know enough about me.
Ergo, getting out of the way. They
exactly.
have fun and freeing.
Totally.
They have the answer. I often think we're always trying to work out, what is it we do? We change. We drive culture. What is it? I think what we do is help people get unstuck.
Yeah.
Because often they feel like, and this is connecting us into the next question, as if I was planning this. And often they're in, especially at the moment, the clients that we're working with, they're in this perfect storm where the external world, the macro is really fighting against them. Then they've got internal, there's a lot of toxicity in culture. Everyone's under so much pressure. Pace is immense, all the changes that are going on. And they feel like, how are we going to get out of this? And when we start working them, we're like, this feels too hard. And I always do this check-in question on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is we can't change and 10 is we got this. Where are you? And it always starts quite low. Even if maybe after the first session we work with them, they go back to the day job and they're like, the forces are strong.
Yeah, BAU is a monster.
It's the beast.
It's just, we go back into the workplace and it's like an onslaught. And what I keep saying to them is, what do we control? We can't control. We've got to accept the playing conditions.
It is what it is.
And what is it that we can, what is the problem we actually can solve? And once you get them to understand this bit's the bit we can control. Oh, actually, if we sorted out all of this and become a united force, we can protect what we're doing, we can protect our team, but it's exactly that. It's like unlocking that bit of this is the bit that we can affect.
So you've got agency there.
Yes.
For the organisation. People in the organisation feel that they can do something.
Yeah.
One. And two, that they're doing it together. We know from lots of behaviour change studies that if you want to change addictive behaviour, for example, you need to recontextualise people, take them out of the context in which the addictive behaviour gets acted out and put them into a new context, create a new social. Think about how the 12 steps works.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you
That's
do
exactly
it.
right.
Sponsorship,
Exactly
you have meetings everywhere want to go.
You get out of the
situation so that you can. And so what you're describing there is creating a new situation for people where they feel they have agency, where they feel that agency is actually making a difference. And they get feedback loops that way, but that agency with each other. That's really crucial, because the notion of heroic leaders or heroic individuals who, the last person defending us against, or the first person over the bridge into it's just nonsense. It's only teams that make it work.
Yeah. It's truly just, it's adding to that, the shifting of the mindset to change the behavior.
Yeah.
And so you just described how to do that. You described that that's critical. Shifting the mindset, then I can change the behavior. So I can control this. That's a different mindset.
And it's not linear, is it? Just going back to your confidence, something that it's, because one of the exercises I love getting people to do is the pass the mic. So who have we got up there? Because that 70% of people have imposter syndrome. I think it's maybe bigger than that.
I do too.
I always say when Barack Obama walked into the Oval Office, he'd have been like, oh my God.
What?
What the fuck? Trump would have been like, I should have been here years ago.
Yeah.
And we all know who we'd prefer to be. So it's absolutely okay. But what it is, a lot of the confidence thing, and you know more than this about me, obviously, is understanding who you've got up there. Yeah. Who is your car? I've got kick-ass, who doesn't give two shits, doesn't hear the no, left Eurostar pregnant with no job. You know her.
I remember her, yeah.
You know her.
That's our first one I met. Yeah, she was great.
And she, if I can give her the mic, it's all okay. Yeah. How do you talk to people about accessing their confidence, particularly at the moment where it's so hard to know what you can and can't control? How do you not get dragged down? What do you do to help people access that confident part?
I have short, quick things.
Yeah.
Because chances are some of the people, you said it before, we were saying it before, people have the answers.
Yeah.
They just have to, what happened is they're in the fight or flight. They're freaking out. Something happened. And our fight or flight doesn't know the difference between a tiger versus a presentation versus a confrontation.
Yeah.
Like a bad meeting.
Panic, catastrophe.
What do you do to stop that so you're not in that place? So I do a quick, short one where, it's literally, because I will get that phone call. I'm in the middle of the board meeting. You need to stop me because I might shoot somebody. This isn't going well. This isn't going well. I'm like, okay, fine. But I can tell when it's going to be the bigger thing, like what is the point you're going to try, et cetera, or it's a second. Like, what do I have to do to help them come back in out of the loo, back into the room? And it could be as simple as tits up, right? Breathe deep. And what's your point? What are you going there? I need to fight for this. Fine, go. Tits up, take a deeper breath. What's your point? Go. So it's lift, focus. What's lift, breathe, focus.
Lift, breathe, focus, stealing that.
Lift, breathe,
breath
focus.
Is so
everything.
Yeah.
But the tits up, weirdly, instead of saying put your shoulders back.
I love it. I think
because then you lift it, but you do it. But then when you do it, you almost smile a little bit. You're like, oh, there they are. Tits. Oh, look, they're there. Breathe.
Focus.
Now you can breathe. And it's like, what's the other thing I do is, because, we're in fight or flight then usually. We're already thinking, what's the worst thing that can happen? Right? That's why we're freaking out.
And that's what we're focusing on.
Yeah.
I love asking questions. What's the best thing that can happen?
Oh, I love that.
What's the best thing that can happen? They completely agree with me and I get the budget I wanted. Click, go, bye, go. Hanging up on you now. Click.
Yeah.
Go get it. Bye.
Very good.
Right? It's that. So it's stopping that moment in those two things. So it's both. It's about the body-mind connection, right? Yeah. So it's, right, breathing that. But then it's also, what's the best thing you can do?
That's great.
Now, if I have more time, if it's a bigger issue, then I'm going to do kind of what you do. I'm going to steal that forward. I mean, sometimes it's grounding us. I always call it, it's the framework. When you feel like you're falling, what's the framework you can catch back on? What's the thing you can throw the spaghetti at so you can, what's the climbing frame you can catch back on? And it's about whatever that is for that person. And it might be that 4x4 2x2. It might be something else, but then that takes the work. like, what is it that you have to do? What is it that you have to remember? But what's the climbing frame? You are here for this purpose. Who are you? What do you love? Where's that passion again? Et cetera, et cetera. So that's the bigger work. That's the deeper work.
Yeah.
All the things we said earlier. But sometimes it's about catching them when that phone call comes, or I see them and I'm like, oh, let's take a break. I pull them outside and I'm like, oh my Gideon, stop. You're going to go down a path that this is not going to be good for you. Breathe.
Or anyone you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everyone else around you.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I love
brilliant.
hearing someone say, "Oh my Gideon" in an American accent. It's hilarious. Marky, how do you with
I do
everything
this?
you've gone
Yeah.
through, how do you do the
So
control the controllables bit?
Yeah, no. So one thing that I do, because I do a lot of speaking, and I like to take risk in the speaking. So rather than, I mean, you really push the envelope and get people to come to the edge of their comfort. I love that. As you know, I'm a bit more, even a bit beyond that. And one of the things that I do, so I did a talk last year. It was the first time I'd done it, and I went out on stage at the Conway Hall.
Okay.
So 620.
Oh, this is so good.
I'm letting me go.
Yeah.
620 people packed there, and it's an insight and marketing kind of thing. And it was some lovely people at Watch Me Think, research company, organised it. And I walk out on stage, and I stand there and say nothing.
How long for?
2.5 minutes.
Literally. And that was about 10 seconds, and it felt forever.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
2.5
minutes.
minutes. And what happened?
So, I mean, the point is, I think that when you do talks and when you're being a leader of any sort, right,
Yeah.
or a coach, you have to embody the things and the difficulties that the audience have, and also the solution. So, in that case, I have to tell myself, I am doing this for a reason. I'm doing this. And actually, I'm playing a game with myself.
Mm-hmm.
How long can I go before I start giggling? And what will happen? I've also then practiced what's going to happen. What will happen is people start to shuffle a bit.
Mm.
And then their breathing goes a bit strange. And then there's a couple of sort of anxious giggles.
Yeah.
Right? And that spreads around them. And it quiets down again. They think he's about to do something. And I'm still not. And I'm just going to wait and just watch them. And then I look at my watch. Now, eventually I check the clock on the wall and go, right, it's 2.5 minutes. That's enough of suffering for the audience. The point being is, in order to get to that, I have to do something to myself. And your lovely husband, Danny, who's a brilliant actor, he and I was exchanging notes about this, and he really helped me in understanding this. You have the moment before you step on stage, and you have to do something then. And my thing to prepare myself is not like an actor, but I summon up the people behind me. My army. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're there. Our friend Julie, and certainly my sister and my mum and my dad, Sarah. People who love me and think I'm great.
Yeah.
My army. Mm-hmm. And I spend 30 seconds with them. And now I know this is going to be okay. This is going to be great.
I love that.
Nobody can defeat this lot.
No.
Oh my God, no. What me and
I love that.
Good luck.
Made me sit up. Exactly. I kind of want to see it try.
Yeah.
Wait, I go backwards a second.
Yeah.
Look at me. Michael Jackson, that back for me. 2.5 minutes. What's your first comment?
How is that for you?
Perfect. Okay. No, that makes me happy, because as a like going into the psychology of the design of that moment, I wondered what that first comment was, and I love that. How was that for you?
And what I do is get people to talk to each other normally.
Perfect.
So talk to the
Break
person
it down
next to
right
you
away.
how it was, and then they'll feel confident coming back to me. But you know, on that one last May, I did it straight because of the time limitations.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about them. It's not about me.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to get them to see that you can't help but communicate, right? And you need to be okay with standing there with nothing happening.
Yeah.
You're not saying anything. The audience wants you to do something. They're going to read you whatever you do. So now just be in it.
Wow.
It's great.
I just want popcorn and listen to you.
I mean, I don't want this to end, but
I'm like, this is fabulous.
I've got one last question, which is just, look, we've given the audience so many amazing things. Honestly, I know I'm going to get an influx of, wow, I've just listened to the one with Mark and Anne. What's the one thing you want people to take away from this? That's a hard question. You guys have got so much stuff that's gold.
I had a trite one that I had prepared. Now I don't like it. But I'll give you the try one. Let me give you the try one because I wrote it. No, because it was something that confidence isn't magic. It's posture, clarity, and practice. It's posture, clarity, and practice. Constant, right? That's all it is.
Yeah.
And all of us can do it. God, that is so fucking boring now.
No, not
What's my one point? It's that what did you say? What's the phrase I didn't write down? I'm dying. The experience is it?
The experience is everything.
That's it. The experience is everything. The faster you can get to a world where that is truly what you believe and you live. Stand down.
Yeah.
Stand down.
Yeah. The experience thing is so important. I mean, I'm with you. As you've said it, I'm going to say something else. And I think it's just us. Just remember that it's only people. It's only people. It's not like monsters and those are in your head.
Yeah.
Or in their heads.
Yeah.
It's only people, and we are the most amazing species. I'm not one of those people who's read all the behavioural change literature and behavioural science, and then says, "Aren't people terrible? Don't they fail?"
Oh, horrible! Then they didn't read the right stuff. They didn't read the right stuff.
Humans are amazing.
They're amazing,
and
let them be.
Yeah. Even with my neurospiciness, that's amazing what I can do. Right? Yeah. I'm not better than anyone else, but it's amazing still. Yeah. And we can make amazing amounts of change if we work with the people rather than the technology or the data or the money.
Yeah.
The people.
Completely.
Love that. And I think you're amazing. I think you're both amazing. Oh my God, this has been absolutely incredible. My one thing I want people who are listening to know is to drink more water, which is what Julie and I are always saying to you, Mark. You haven't drunk your water. Drink your water. Sure. Everyone drink water with 70%
Do you not drink more?
Guys, that was absolutely incredible. We might even need to do another one because I think there's a lot more to talk about.
Mark,
cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. That has been Slow the Fuck Down. Thank you for listening to the Slow the Fuck Down podcast with Glow London and The Drum. If you found this episode interesting and insightful, please help us spread the word by giving us a follow or sharing it with your friends. And if you feel inclined to give us a quick review, that would be awesome. Let's all do what we can to help the world slow the fuck down.